no faces. So hello E, hello Oji, hello Raven, Brian, Savit, Lattio, Profit Field, Tiffany Moma, Josimit. Thank you so much for joining. So this is an email that we have prepared to discuss about what's happening in the ecosystem, what's the future of the ecosystem, and how we think that we should move things forward, putting on a strategy on AI first. So can you go to the next slide, please? First, we would like to talk about the financials. As you all may know, we have released financial reports since April until now, where we detail of the expenses. So if you can go to the next slide, please. So you can go there to all the reports, and you will see that on average, we have around 30 or 50% of the monthly expenses are dedicated to team salaries. Around 30-40% is dedicated to cover supplier expenses. It's around 23 to 27K. And the rest has been dedicated to other activities such as events, like hackathons, travel expenses, marketing, listing fees, and also infrastructure. So it varies from month to month. When we have good opportunities to do events and we have good offers to do it, we go for it. And when the good price is not that good, we try to be as careful as possible with all the expenses that we are doing. So we invite everybody to go to the it's already published in the proposal that we have released, and you can check it. And if you have any questions, well, we already mentioned that if you have any questions, feel free to send us a message. We were wanting to collect all the questions, but we have very few questions, unfortunately. So can you go to the please to the next slide, please? Then I pass the microphone to Mr. Rose to talk about the grants and incubation.
Yep, thanks, Albert. If we move to the next slide, the idea, I have just 3 slides to walk you through. The idea is to present just an overview of what we've built during this last 1.5 years and what's been the effort behind. Because ideally, from a theoretical perspective, the ecosystem team was intended to be a sort of venture builder. So basically, we should be the orchestrators of all the developments doing for and by the community. But in the end, the truth is that we somehow became some part of developers ourselves. So the idea is with these slides is to showcase what's behind everything that we as ecosystem services team and also the community release regularly. On the one side, I just wanted to talk about the funds within. Jointly with the grants and incubation funds, we've invested around 600K, which is a lot of money. And with this, we were able to launch around 19 projects out of 32. 6 of them just abandoned the initiative, but the rest are expected to be delivered within the next 3 months. And some of them in Q1 2026, except for the Solana REITs that, as you all well know, they are starting in a couple of days, well, actually 4 days, in November 17, and that development will take like 6 months, maybe a little bit less. But yeah, what and how those funds were used and what other investments we made, but because it's not only the 600K that we invest, but also a lot of ecosystem services resources, because as you know, we have around 6 FTEs dedicated to grants and incubations in one way or another. It's not only the operations, so they're running the programs, but also supporting on quality assurance and also developing. On the one side, I want to share you that we support on developing the developer documentation. You miss so sorry, I was reading the chat. We support on all the documentation efforts because many projects has delivered but don't deliver the documentation part, which sometimes is tough. And also we support on building the documentation tools that were required for developers, basically to make the development path easier and to ease the learning curve that we all know that it's quite hard. Also, this wasn't initially, as I said, a planned task, but we support on the development of front-end examples. And we say examples because let's say that we create how to say the white label of some of them, and we're taken as examples of or as the base layer to build what we now know as QSwap, Nostromo, or others. Also, the development of the Nostromo smart contract was fully developed by Ecosystem Services, so we fund that. Not only we fund, but we also develop, and also part of the front-end integration functionalities. We've been working a lot with those guys, and also, as you know, the quality assurance and also the audits, but this is a regular task that we assume. So this is business as usual on an incubation program services. What we are very proud of is that we were able to set up a program and to organize a program where everything is on its place. So developers know what to do and how to do, and more important, when to deliver. And yeah, results, I think that they speak by themselves. Since the last 6 months, we haven't experienced any bigger underperformance from a project that we are incubating, and we do not expect any delays. And I refer for the upcoming developments such as the bottom bridge, the multi-sig part, and others. I'll stop here because I don't know if there are any doubts. I'd like to make this presentation as dynamic as possible, because maybe you don't agree or you want some clarifications on our statements. I'm just checking the chat. I see that some of you have issues. I expect it's not with listening to me. Okay. We can move in the meantime to the next slide, please. Great.
Yeah, maybe Mr. Ross, you can recap what's coming in the next month.
Oh yeah. Next month, when we expect to deliver is the front end for QSwap. I already reviewed the proposal, so probably we are releasing it next week for voting. Also, well, Nostromo is already live. There are a few features that need to be fine-tuned, but it's up and running. We also expect that Nostromo team managed to find the first launch, so the first project launch. You'll hear about that. Also, Bottom Bridge, that by Christmas they will be delivering, fully delivering, I mean, in mainnet. They are on track. So yeah, we'll finally have a bridge if everything goes as expected. And yeah, I think these are the major developments. Also, the team of Qbuild, so the Qubic AI audit tool, is expected to deliver by end of this year. We had a quick sync a couple of days ago, and they said that they expect to release earlier than what we expected. So all good news on our end. I mean, on the incubation, on the grants and incubation side, I must say. With this slide, what I wanted to share with you is that developing and interacting within Qubic, it's a completely different story for what it was like 1 year and a half ago. Now we have a lot of tools just to interact not only with the community like the voting app, but also to integrate decentralized apps like the Snaps, which has been used a lot. Also, some tools for developers. Obviously, the testnet. Please remember that we did not have any testnet a year ago. Also, the lead node, QForge, that's been used to test and to interact with smart contracts from a low code perspective. Also, want to say about all the documentations and the libraries that we've invested in. So now developing in Cubing is, I'm not going to say that it's super easy. We all know that, but it's way easier than when it was a year and a half ago, right? If we go to next slide, we can also see that we develop a lot of, yeah, can you move to the next one, please? Oh yeah, perfect. Not only tools we've invested in, but also in projects that have how to say a great that created good business expectations, like QSwap or QR Nostromo, now live. Solana Bridge will be live in half a year more or less. Also the OTC escrow that we expect to be delivered in a few months. All of those investments were made to generate volume and especially interoperability. So we wanted our main focus was to bring and to increase the value of what we of our interactions. But honestly, what we see a year since a year has passed is that we are still missing this volume and this interoperability. On the volume side, we don't see that QSwap, for instance, is skyrocketing, or QEarn or other projects that we invest. So volume is still low from a macro perspective. And on the interoperability side, obviously, we don't have the bridge yet. As you know, we faced some issues with the computers that wanted a change request, but we expect to solve this within the end of this year. So results, unfortunately, are not as great as we expected. I mean, they are good. We've delivered, but there are a few things that we want to finalize properly to see if this volume and this operability finally happens. I think that this is the last slide on my side. If you go to the next one. Okay, yeah, I'll stop here.
There is one question from Doga10. He's asking for the question is, what is the current state of the idea of developing Qubic SPERP DEX? Is there anyone currently in charge of this project?
Yeah, that's a good one. We've decided to stop the initiative of launching an RFP for the perpetual DEX until we have a clear view and consensus on where do we want to take Qubic next, because there are a few things that we think that we need first. Bridges is the main one, and I think we all agree. Maybe then should come a stablecoin, which has been required for some other developers, and probably next the perpetual DEX could come. But I'm not saying we are following this. We are following this path, and we have a clear consensus with the main stakeholders and, of course, with computers. So, in summary, the RFP has been put on hold. We start working on that, but we realized that it was better to stop and think, and also to try to find some consensus within the rest of the stakeholders. Any other
Thank you so
question?
much. Not right now, but I think we can keep on with the next slide so I can explain what is the main focus on the scientific team. So for this 1.5 years, they've been working on the research. They published the first Qubic scientific paper, that it was the Qubic AGI Journey, Human and Artificial Intelligence. It has 16,000 reads, which is a very good metric. And we've been working a lot to have more public outreach. For instance, we've been in Telefonica for a master class. Vivancos went to Slovenia to do another master class. We have the Math Hack master class, Talking 2049 master class from Dr. Sanchez. We have started to publish twice per month scientific newsletter where we explain what we are going, what's the new achievements, new discoveries, and a couple of events, the ICLR and a site event organization, plus also the AI for Good. It was an attendance and also a site event. All of this with the goal to work with CSV, either can be a competitor of the IGAR team or a collaborator to work on explaining and also creating what is the foundation for IGAR. So thanks to that, we have the new action, the initiative that is already published and it's open source, plus the scientific paper. So the way that now is moving forward is we can call it the game of life. It's an AI development for bio-inspired emerging intelligence. I've been discussing this morning with the scientists about this one, and the conclusion that we have, and you will see the next achievements and how it's evolving. Well, it came to my mind one of the episodes of Black Mirror. Vivancos was saying that also that it's very common. So this is an start, but one of the validation that we have from yesterday's AMA is that it's the first time that we have such a nice impact. We have more than 5,000 views, and all the metrics from previous initiatives more related to maybe crypto or less plain development, it didn't have that much impact. So that's one of the reasons why we think that we should put more effort into this AGI outreach in these publications, but also getting more efforts into getting more people in to study this, and with a more clear call to action. Because we have now open source, we have a network, but when we say to scientists, when we say to possible users, play with it, we want to establish a narrower a call to action where we can say, let's test this one, extrapolate this data, and just run these tests for your own. So let's see what are the outputs that we have. So this is the goal. If you can go to the next slide, please, for the partnerships. Yeah, let's talk about the partnerships, what we have. Go to the next one, please. So to recap, we've been working with thanks to the events, and also thanks for the connections that people in the team and outside the team and also in the community have. We have the Exchange free integration, that it's a service quite handy. We are currently exploring Merson integration with MLM and also the IPOs. We've been working and discussing with Chain Hero and Check Now. Both of them, it would be great to have a platform where you can easily buy Qubic. There is one issue about these two that we discovered, and it's related to the same thing as always, and it's about funds. Both of them, they don't require to provide USDT tokens for, let's say, the liquidity pool that they have, but they do require to put some Qubic, and the amount is between 100,000 and 200,000. So it's a lot of money right now with the Qubic price. Well, it's a little bit more complicated. So we are trying to decrease the amount. If we have, and that's why one of the reasons why we really want to have a tier one is that once we have a tier one, these exchanges they can plug to that liquidity, and they don't require an extra effort from our side to plug into these platforms. Also, we are in conversation with Decent Wallet. We've been also discussing a lot with Haken. The first time we met them, it was last year. They also came to pay a visit in the Madrid hackathon. So it's been an ongoing conversation with them. So we are finding a way to make a collaboration with them. If you go to the next slide, please. So let's talk about how we are going to move forward with the exchanges right now. From our experience, what we've learned is that in some cases, we have to move forward. If we have a very good price action, then the negotiation flows, the negotiations flow much better, and we can have better deals. But if the price action starts to decrease, and it's more complicated. So two key part of the equation is one, the initiative that Cortec is doing with Bob Corp nodes, that it's going to make easier the integration. Another possible solution for that we think during last year is to make the integration to, well, better say, to pay the integration with one of the custodians that are very extended. Let's talk about the biggest two, Fireblocks and also Copper. The costs are very high, and the return on the investment, it depends on the deals that we can have in the future. So it's a very long-term bet. I think that the Bob Cornot, if they work in a similar way as the approach that they are having right now, it'll be great, and it will make easier the integration. The main problem with the pair ones that we have right now, or let's say the major excuse, is about the integration. And honestly, it's not like that. It's the integration from our point of view is quite straightforward, but the way how the transactions are in Qubit, that you have to check when the transaction is released, and the fact that we don't have um, the queue for the transactions to be executed. That's a problem for them. So we have a proposal to create like a Qubic board for decisions, where people that it's going to be elected by the community by voting, we can have and we can serve, they can sign the NDA, so all these negotiations can be fully transparent to them. So we don't have to explain to the community everything, because many times we get in trouble with that, and we are the ones that we've lost the most to communicate this very, very clearly. And this group, they can have fast consensus-based decisions in 48 hours. So they can see all the documentation, they will have everything at hand to take the decision, whether they consider that we should move forward, even if there are funds that imply to do that, or even if we don't have the funds required for that, to make a call for donations or a CCF request for something that it requires money and efforts. And it can be an exchange interaction, but it can be also for partnerships, like this one that I mentioned earlier, like the integration with a custodian, institutional custodian, like 5blocks or Copper. So please don't forget to vote. The 16th of November, this is the last day to vote. So the 17th, we will know what are the members of the this board to have this decision board. And if you have someone that it's not in the list, you have uh, a field where you can also add the person that you want to be part of this board decision. Okay. So if you can go to the next slide, please. During this time, we've made integration with Big X. This was a strategic partner to make another integration easier and cheaper, like L Bank, that we really managed to have a very good price with them, and the volume was great. Also, this is one of the crypto exchanges that they are organic in sense that there is not market maker behind them, so they are doing quite well. CoinStop was the first integration, and this was mainly to get the Indian market because they are very popular, but it hasn't been working really well. They complain that we didn't do any marketing there, but we think that though it's great to have more tier twos, in this case, we should have more volume there, than expected. Also, we have developed the tools to integrate Qubic and QX and all the DeFi that we have in Qubic in DeFi Llama, and also DEX tools. DEX tools, it was long shot. When we participated into the DEX Tools festivals, we had connections with the CEO. They established what were the minimal requirements to be listed. So once we have QX up and running, when we have QN plus more tokens, it was the time. And we developed this. We have also the Exolix integration for free, that it's a very handy tool. And also, Bit2Me, it's there because we negotiated with them to have the euro pair for free, and it's available. Bit2Me is one of these exchanges that it's not possible to do deposits yet, but you can do withdrawals. Once we have a custodian, either can be Copper or 5blocks or whatever we have, or even a Web3 wallet for one of the tier ones, that when that happened, then it'll be possible to do also deposits. But it was the first pair with euro directly. And yeah, and that's it. So go to the next slide, please. So the conclusion, and go to the next one. The conclusion that we have is that since the beginning, if we are tracking what are the initiatives with the price, which at the end of the day, it's one of the most important things that we have in Qubic. We have that first, we have a pump because there were no exchanges, so the only way to buy was in safe trade. Then the price was declining until we have the first Gate.io listing that the price went up to 8,000 billion. Then the price action was quite plain, and the initiative that it was most successful was the publication of the white paper. Back at the end of the last year, we also had of the first Qubic paper. And finally, the last initiative that it was very important price-wise, it was the XMR mining. And that's when we started to have more than 10 millions per day of volume, even 20 millions per day volume. And though the price action was not that explosive, the volume made us think that it was the time to go for the tier one exchanges, and this is what we did. So can you go to the next slide, please? So the way to move forward. If you have a look about the proposal that we did, we are um, proposing to do a transition phase where now we think that it's time to bet bigger and lead the AI narrative. We want to demonstrate to the outside world that the current vision of the LLMs is obsolete and cannot scale. Most of the scientific community, they know already this, but there is no experimentation, there is no research, or not a lot of them, that demonstrates another ways to create artificial intelligence. So we want to move to an experimental phase within IGAR jointly with CSB. So we consider that it's time to pivot the Qubic strategy in a coordinated, no rush manner involving all relevant stakeholders. Um, we think that it is time to develop the foundational crypto rails that IGAR will need to scale from a decentralized business perspective. So interoperability is key for future success. We want to do this in a transient way because we are also right now leading several initiatives. Like, for instance, the creation that is not already finished. So what we propose is to have a transition phase of 1.5 months where we will continue to run the operations that we already have, plus also make this transformation. So can you go to the next slide?
No, there are no more slides. But if we can go back to the previous one, I'd like to add something. Yeah, because sometimes I feel that we try to synthesize everything that we want to do in one slide, and it turns out to be quite not generic, but broad in scope. Trying to drill down this a little bit more. What does this mean to pivot Qubic strategy? On one side, we are not saying that we are closing or finalizing incubation. We are saying is that we need an alignment to see to decide whether the investment is a matter of quantity over quality. Now we've been investing in a lot of different projects, and now we need to sit and think whether we foresee a return of the investment, or we need to pivot in another kind of investments. And when I say investments, I mean to build different things. Maybe we need to bet higher and pay more for projects like bridges, for instance, or not. This is an undefined question yet, and we expect to reach an agreement by the end of this year. On the other side, regarding the AI first strategy and reinforcing what Albert said, what we feel is that in the previous slide you saw that one of the most impactful things was the white paper release. This also came with another scientific releases and publications, but we think that our main value proposition, Qubic main value proposition, it's decentralized AI or AGI, and we feel that we are not betting as we should be. Because now the narrative is led by all centralized companies, main LLMs, and we want to challenge this because we feel and we think that the LLMs strategy is not scalable anymore, and they are obsolete. It's a matter of bringing in more computing power, and at some point this will collapse. And we have a different view, and we want to spread the word, but not only from a theoretical perspective, but also from an experimental one. And we think that we now can do that. Now that Agarth is live or almost live, and we can work jointly with CFB. We think that it's the time now to move to an experimental phase, and to bring and spread Qubic's worth on a more broader scope, because now we've been operating from a very would say savvy or price sensitive strategy, and we decided to go more on the incubation side rather than on AI side. Now this is the thing that we need to discuss. But for all of you who are already within grants or incubation program, also for all of you who are thinking about submitting proposals, we will find a way for the community to keep developing, and to we'll try to find ways for the developers to find funding sources, and one of them is Nostromo. And please, I'm calling out for all the developers. Nostromo is somehow the evolution of incubation. If you want to launch your own business within Qubic, Nostromo is your go-to rather than me or any of the incubation programs, guys. So we think that we are reaching to a point with all the necessary rails for the community to develop on Qubic are ready or almost ready. So we just need a couple of months more or less, and it's time to to move and relocate our resources and everything that we've built to keep building and make Qubic greater. And yeah, I'll stop here. Sorry.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Rosso. I think this is almost everything from our side. So we can go for the questions. For instance, I have a question for Cubic F 28. When is there going to be any actual proof of IGART to utilize this new strategy? So there is no ETA. It's unknown. What I can say is that the path to move forward is going to be first getting the IGART source code that we have, to evolve it, to demonstrate that there is sort of intelligence on it. Then it has to be developed to be executed in a decentralized way within the Qubic network, and then to do the intervention from all of this. So it's a parallel tasks that we have until we achieve this. Is there any more questions that you can have? Feel free to drop your questions. Will Qubic replace BTC or UT as a more global currency? Well, I think we wish that Qubic replace either BTC or USDT as more global currency. We would love that this to happen. Obviously, another question: any ledger update? Well, this is about the ledger integration. The team that is leading this integration is LFG. You can ask them. The last time that we have news, it was that it was being reviewed by Ledger, by the security team of Ledger. So, any more questions that you can ask? Well, let's give the microphone to Lattio if you want to remark anything or to express your view.
I think you killed it, guys, and explaining where we want to go. Yeah, I think it makes more sense what we're planning, the direction of AI, and also, as Mr. Ross says, if anyone wants to build anything, ideas, you can go contact Nostromo team and that. I'm excited to see how incubation and everything evolves. But yeah, like express everything. I think this is the way we should go, and I hope that the community and the computers approve that.
Okay. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining with us today. The proposal it's a proposal to do this transition phase to cover minimal expenses for the team for November and December, and also to make us plan the way to move forward for 2026. That we really think that is key, that we should put more efforts into the AI part. So, any more questions here?
I think there's one that says, what do you mean exactly by experimental phase within Agar, usually with CFV? If you can expand a little bit, Albert.
Oh, yeah. So CSV, he has his own team, IGAR team, and they are working toward the same goal. In the other hand, we have the team, the scientific team, that they are doing the same. So in one hand, this is experimental phase because before it was more research, and now that we have something, it's to experiment with this that we have, to put some computing power and to get more conclusions. So we have new neurons, new artificial neurons that they work differently. And the goal is to train them and to see what they are capable to do, and also how we can connect, how we can do the interaction with a machine that is stateless, as it could
I
be.
think lost you.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, we lost the last 5 seconds, more or less.
Yeah, I mean, imagine how we can extrapolate this from blockchain. So if you think about smart contracts in Ethereum, they have the EVM, and this EVM, they you have the states of the smart contracts. While in the other hand, in a distributed way, there are other blockchains that they don't have the states. They are stateless platforms. So every chain of the execution of anything, it should be it must create a blockchain transaction, and it is stored into the ledger of the transaction. So there are many challenges like this one. How can we create an AI that is being executed into the Qubic network without storing the states of the execution, or whether we should develop something to store the states in a decentralized way, like artificial intelligence, virtual machine, whatever. So there are many things that we have to solve. That's why we can call it an experimental phase, because we are, moving from the theory and from the research to put in practice everything that we've learned, everything that we've got during that phase. I don't know if that's totally clear or not.
There's a couple of questions more I think that we can address now. One is regarding the roadmap, AA roadmap, and well, basically anything that does not sound like a Trust Me Pro. And the other thing is if future incubation grants, how does it look like? And if all proposals must be AA focused. I can address both of them. You cannot create a roadmap until you have a clear view of where to go. So the answer is no, we don't have a roadmap yet, and that's why we are asking for a transition phase to build a solid roadmap that can last for at least 1 year and a half, rather than doing everything on a rush and to create a roadmap that no one trusts. And every 2 or 3 months, you need to restructure it. So no, the answer is no. We don't have it yet. We'll have one, and if everything goes as expected, you will see it. And on the sorry, because I was posting here, and also on the incubation side, profit field, the answer is undetermined for the moment. We don't know what will happen. That's why we need this alignment. We need to do, all the stakeholders need to sit and think, where do we want to take Qubic next, and what do we want to do with the remaining funds. I'm not sure that all would be AI focused, because the AI initiative is AGERT and all related to AGERT and our scientific team. But we need to think about it. 2026 roadmap, that's not only on us, not only on on ecosystem team. On the rest of the work groups should release a roadmap too. But yeah, I expect that by the end of the year we should have one.
Yeah, I want to add on top of what you said, Mr. Rose, is that when we started from the beginning, I mentioned several times that the purpose of the ecosystem group was to jumpstart the ecosystem. There were no developers, and the few who show up became frustrated very quickly and move on. So the goal from day one was for us to become unnecessary as soon as possible. So we've seen that the friction is attracting the first developers, and the friction that we have organizing the first hackathons was extremely high. If you remember, but now it has dropped drastically. It has become exponentially easier, I would say. And I want to remark also that on the crypto side, there is still something missing with Qubic, and it's the liquidity and higher volume. So we need to attract more entrepreneurs and to ensure that projects don't require external funding just to survive. So about incubation and grants, we want to restructure during this month and a half somehow, but we don't want to do it in a rush. So we want to think carefully what's the best way to do it. Okay. So more questions about the Mary Kate secret. Has anyone from the team checked whether there is any truth to this? There was a little bit of investigation about that, but there is no conclusion yet about the Mary Kate message. So we don't have a confirmation from the scientific team about that. And well, if we don't have any more questions, I would like you to please vote for the Qubic decision board. The most votes we have, the better. It can give more authority to the members that are going to be elected. So I please encourage you to vote. You don't have to expose your sheet. You don't have to put your private key. It's just a Google form. So we can do it. And also about the community voting tool, there is a problem with whales that they don't want to uh, write the seed into an application. We have the solutions, like you can use Hash Wallet with Wallet Connect, but there is a new feature that will come thanks to the core devs. They will adapt the voting utils. They will add another attribute, so we can inject the transaction binary already signed, so you can do an offline transaction directly, and you don't have to expose the data anymore. Yeah, about the question, how many board members will be elected? They will be either 5 or 7. depending on the votes. And the question about the legend iteration, well, we've already discussed this during the AMA, but very quickly, last time LFG said something about it. It was in the ledgers preview. Okay, and with this, that's all. I really thank you, everybody, to join us, and happy to see this beautiful community. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. See you.
See you. Cheers.
Bye.